Hello, my loves. Today we are working on lesson 10 of chapter 11, and it's algebra. We're going to apply volume formulas. So here's our standard. I can relate volume to the operations of multiplication and addition and solve real-world and mathematical problems involving volume. So again, with volume, we need to multiply the length times the width times the height because it's a three-dimensional figure, and these are the three dimensions: length, width, and height. Here's our objective. I can use formulas to find the volume of a prism. Yesterday, we counted the cubes and we used the formulas. Today, we're going to challenge you a little bit more, and instead of counting the cubes, we're only going to use those formulas. Here's your essential question. What formulas can you use to find the volume of a rectangular prism? Here are those lead measures. We're going to review those formulas, and I'm going to show you how to find missing measurements of rectangular prisms. And then you're going to practice those skills using the Google form that I made for you. And then don't forget to do those iReady teacher assigned lessons. You have 2 lessons that are assigned by me. And then you can go on ahead and do your regular iReady lessons. You need to get 50 minutes every week of math and at least 50 minutes of reading. All right, so here are the 2 formulas that we're going to use. The first formula is volume equals length times width times height. And the second formula is base times height. Now, if you remember from yesterday, the base is really just the length times the width. So they're not really different formulas. It's just that the base times height does the base first. With length times width times height, you're just plugging in those measurements and you're multiplying from left to right. All right, well, let's see what we've got going on here. Let me grab my pen. And let's start with this one here on the left. So we do know that volume equals length times width times height. So let's just plug in those numbers. What's the length? 6. What's the width? We got it here. And the height? Done. Now we just multiply from left to right. So 6 times 6 we know is 36. And what's 36 times 6? Well, again, 6 times 6 is 36. Regroup. And 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20, 21. So we have 216 what? Inches, inches, inches. Because we're multiplying inch times inch times inch, it's going to be inches cubed, or cubic inches. That's another way we could say it. We could say 216 cubic inches. Either one of those is fine. All right, let's go to this next one. Again, volume equals length times width times height. We just plug in those numbers. 2 times 4 times 5. Now, I like to use my commutative property because, pardon me, because I know that 4 times 5 is 20. And now I can easily do 2 times 20, and I get 40. But 40 what? What's my unit of measure? We've got feet times feet times feet, so it's going to be cubic feet. And this is really important, that it's cubic feet. Now over here on the right, pardon me, my goodness, our volume equals base times height. But you and I know that this base is really length times width. It's length times width times height. But instead of saying length times width times height, we're substituting that. We're substituting that with base. So that means we have to find the base first. Well, length times width, that's how we get our base. So let's start here. 14 times 6. 6 times 4 is 24. And then 6 times 1 is 6, 7, 8. So our base is 84. So here's my volume. 84 times my height. Now I can plug in the rest of my problem. My height is 12. So it's 84 times 12. Well, let me go ahead and do that math then. 84 times 12. Okay, 2 times 4. Yep. And then what is 2 times 8? Yeah, very good. Okay. Next, we are now in the tens place. So we make sure we put our 0 for our 10. And 1 times 4 is 4. And 1 times 8 is 8. And when we add them together, I've got an 8, a 10, 8, 9, 10. So my answer is 1008. But it's 1008 what? What unit of measure are we using? Did you say inches cubed? Or cubic inches? That's the answer. Good job. All right, last one here. Okay, so again, we're working on base times height, so let's get that base together. Our base, 4 times 4, is 16 centimeters squared, isn't it? Because when you multiply 1 centimeter times 1 centimeter, you get squared centimeters. That's my base. So what's my height? There it is. So now I need to multiply 16 times 9. Let's multiply 16 times 9. 9 times 6. Well, I know that 10 times 6 is 60. So if I count down 6 more, 60, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55, 54, then I can have my answer easily. And 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 144 is my answer. But remember, I multiplied centimeters times centimeters to get the squared, and I multiplied 1 more centimeter. So it's 144 cubic centimeters. It needs to have that cubic centimeter. Oh my goodness, look at all this math that I had to do to find the answers. This is what you should have on your paper. And don't erase it. If you find that you made a mistake, go back and look at your problem to find it. If you can't find it, cover up your math and try it again and then compare. Sometimes it's a very easy mistake like, forgetting to carry the 1 or forgetting that 4 plus 2 is 6. Something like that. So always keep your work handy so you can check and learn from your mistakes. Okay, now take a look at this one. What we're doing here is we need to find the missing measurement. They gave us the volume, they gave us the length and the width, but they did not give us the height. So here's what we need to do. We need to plug in these measurements into the formula. We know the formula is length times width times height. Do we know what the volume is? Yes, we do. It's 84. Do we know what the length is? It's 7. And we know the width. It's 6. Do we know what the height is? Nope. I'm going to leave it as H. So 84 equals, well, what's 7 times 6? Don't wait for me to give you the answer. You tell me the answer. It's 42 times H. So now we have an algebraic equation. And an equation is like a seesaw. Let me draw my seesaw. And smiling here. And smiling here. So a seesaw has to be equivalent. They have to be balanced on left and right. If they're not balanced on left and right, you're going to have a seesaw, and some poor guy is going to be up in the air. This is me down here. He's going to be up in the air and he can't get down. This is a dangerous situation. We need to make sure that there is a balance. It needs to be equal. So what we have here is an equal sign that says 84 is equal to 72 times h. So I just need to find out what h is. What number times 42 equals 84? Well, I see something here. I see that 2 doubled is 4 and 4 doubled is 8. So that tells me that 42 times 2 equals 84. And that's really great because 84 is the base times the height. So my height is 2 feet. Now, here's where you need to be careful. This is not 2 feet squared, and it's not 2 feet cubed. It's just plain 2 feet, because the volume is when the answer is in square feet. The length, the width, and height are regular feet. They're linear feet. That means they're in a line. This is in a line. So the answer is just old, plain, everyday feet. Let me clear my amazing drawings there. My goodness. All right, let's do another one. The volume here is 140 centimeters cubed. So we know that volume equals length times width times height. And we know what the volume is. I'm going to plug it in. Do I know what the length is? Sure do. Do I know the width? Yep. Do I know the height? No, I don't know it. So I'm going to leave it as h. Do you remember what it's called when we use a letter to represent a number in math? It's something that can change. It can vary from number to number. It's a variable. So this h is a variable. It's holding the place of a number. And let's find out what that number is. 140 equals, what's 5 times 4? 20. So 20 times h. Here's my algebraic equation. It's an equation because there's an equal sign. Over here is an expression. 140 is an expression. Over here is 20 times h. That's another expression. I am showing you that this expression is equivalent to this expression. So we need to find out what that variable is. What number times 20 equals 140? Well, I could do 140 and divide it by 20, can't I? Because if 20 times h equals 140, I could use that commutative property that says 140 divided by 20 equals h. I could do that. So 20, but see, look, it's really not helping me much unless I were to ignore these. If I were to ignore those zeros, oh, it's a 7. Then I put my 0 back. So it's 70. Let me double check. 20 times 70. Is that going to equal 140? I'm checking my math. 2 times 7. Uh-oh. 1, 2. What did I do? Let's see. I put my 0 back. Should I have put my 0 there? No, I shouldn't have done that. I'm glad I checked my math by multiplying. So does this make sense now? 140 equals 20 times 7. Let me check again. 20 times 7. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Yes. There's my answer. So now let me plug it back in. Centimeters. How many centimeters? It's going to be 7. Is it 7 centimeters squared? No. Is it 7 centimeters cubed? Nope, it's just plain old everyday centimeters. The only time we cube is if it's in the volume because we multiplied 3 of those. Okay, last one. Again, we've got base. Oh, this one's different, isn't it? We've got the volume like we had here, but here they're telling us what the base is. I know that volume equals base times height. I don't even have to multiply these. Ooh, look at that. Volume equals, what's my base? 90 times h. Well, I can't solve this, can I? I have to plug in my volume. 370 equals 90 times h. Ah, okay. 370. So now I have to think what times 90 is 370, or I can do that division problem. 370 divided by 90. Now I can get rid of these zeros because they're canceling each other out, and I have to think what number times 9 is 37? Well, I know that 4 times 9 is 36, so there's 1 left over. What do I do with that 1 left over? It's going to become my numerator. 4 and 1/9, what? Centimeter. So my answer here is 4 and 1/9 centimeter. And when we're doing our volume, definitely you're going to come across some fractions and even some decimals. We made it a little bit easier because you're just now learning, so we're keeping our numbers whole, but I wanted to give you one problem where you see me do this answer and our missing measurement is a fraction. So this is kind of fun. This is a challenging one. Okay, here we are at my web page, and you'll see here that I have another Google practice form for you for this lesson. Okay, and it's 11.10, apply volume formulas. So again, we're going to first find the volume on your own. Then you're going to use the drop-down menu to check your answer. Let's do the first one together. Let me pull up my pen. Okay, so I know that volume equals length times width times height. And I really want you to write this on the top of every page. Whenever you're going to come across volume for a rectangular prism, make sure that you write down that formula. Length times width times height. What's my length? 7 times 5 times 3. And 7 times 5 is 35. And what's 35 times 3? 3 times 5 is 15, 9 and 10. So 105 inches is going to be inches cubed, or cubic inches. Well, let's use our drop-down menu to check our answer. Did we get the right answer? Yes, 105 cubic inches. Awesome. Let's go down to the last one because I gave you a couple of those hot questions, those higher order thinking. You see where it says hot, higher order thinking? So these higher order thinking questions, these are the algebraic questions. It says here that the volume equals 60 cubic centimeters. I know that volume equals length times width times height. And they told me that the volume is 60. 60 equals, my length is 5, my width is 4, and I don't know what my height is. But you know what I do know? I do know what 5 times 4 is. 5 times 4 is 20. So here I have an equation that I need to solve. And I have an equation that has a variable. It's called a variable because it can change. The last problem, it was what, 4 and 1/9 or something? And now it's going to be what? What number times 20 equals 60? It's going to be 3, right? Because 20 times 3 times 0 is 0. It's 60. So H equals 3. And it equals 3 what? Centimeters. Is it centimeters squared? Not centimeters squared. How about centimeters cubed? Not centimeters cubed. Cubic centimeters only counts for the volume. We're talking about just the height. The height is just plain old 30 centimeters. 30 centimeters? Did I make a mistake? Did I make a mistake? Let's see. Let me get a different color here. Okay. We've got 5 times 4 is 20. Where's my pen? There it is. Is 20, right? That's my base. And 20 times 3. 20 times 3 is 60. So you know what it looks like I did? I might have made a mistake with my drop-down menu. I put 30 centimeters. So I wonder if this is the mistake or if this is the mistake and it's supposed to be 600 cubic centimeters. Well, I'm going to go back to the textbook and I'm going to double check because obviously I made a mistake here. Well, the good news is you saw me solve it, and when you have your turn, you're going to see what's changed. Hopefully you have a good memory, and you're going to be looking to see if it's 60 centimeters that have changed or if maybe the answer of 30 cubic centimeters has changed. Okay, so that's what, 2 mistakes that I made? Wonderful. Thank you for helping me find those mistakes. And let's see how many mistakes I can make next time. Okay, I'll see you later. I love you guys. Okay, bye.